All right, enough of that. Let's see. Oh, why is this still going? I was just checking the stream. Sorry, real quick. I know I'm not the most organized out of here. Yeah, there it goes again. Screwed it up. Okay, let's see if this voice is getting out here. Yeah, trying the new mic preamp. So there we go. Okay, good. Welcome to dropping in at Pipeline Audio episode 90. Wow, it's going to be getting closer to that 100 mark. So this is Get Woke, Go Broke. I'm actually going to be talking a lot about some guitar player stuff, some MIDI. Let me find. I just misplaced my duct tape. I just had it, and why should I have to have duct tape? But you know, this is the real world, and we have real world solutions. And right now, that solution is duct tape. Okay, I think we're good. Let me just move this junk out of the way. It looks like we're going okay. I hope I have things plugged in right. Let's see. I'm just checking. I have to do a little bit of setting up. It's gonna be a little noisy. I'm the nature of what this is. I'm just gonna mute it. Let's see what happens. If this blows up, it blows up. Let me see what's working now. Hold on 1 second. Oh, okay. Hello, Periscope. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube on both the AIX DSP channel and the Pipeline Audio channel. And looks like D Live is working and No Live is no working. And Twitch. Hey, Twitch. Meet all you Hawaii Twitch streamers. That was pretty cool. Did the live stream a couple weeks ago. So first thing, we are still knee deep in our programming class, and I'm maybe I'm getting some of it, maybe I'm not. It's still very difficult for me, but. And the same kind of thing that hit our DAW community not too long ago about people wanting to censor words hit me really hard on the programming side. I was trying to use a versioning control repository thing so I could save your work, because it's not just hit and save as like you would in Reaper or whatever. There's some tricks to it in the programming world. This isn't ToneLib. Hey Kyle Cole. This is gonna be biased because somebody actually sent me a question, and actually I'll get back to that in a second. Anyways, I was just trying to use versioning control software, and I'm just gonna say it. This ain't a Godwin. Nazis, sorry. Have decided what words other people can and can't use. They get to decide. We get to follow. And, I try and keep it out of this channel and out of this kind of thing, but censorship doesn't help anybody. And in this case, this censorship broke the program. I guess if you were to really go through it all and think really hard, you could probably find a way to have made this work okay. But they didn't. So there are some workarounds. I actually went to YouTube to attempt. Let me just paste this in. I went everywhere, Reddit and wherever, anywhere you could go, Stack Overflow, to look at ways to deal with this problem that the censorship caused. And there really wasn't a way there's some ways around it, but they were all really sketchy. And then I was reading about like actual important industries, let's say, that were affected by this. Transportation industries, like some of them that go over your head and some of them that go down a certain type of track that I don't even think we're allowed to say those two words together on YouTube. But yeah, this is a very dangerous thing. Listen, censorship doesn't help anybody. It's just at at best, you're going to force the people to hide underground. But, you want to enable a real victim mentality? Take away the ability of people to use words. The only reason we have the technology we have is because people are free to communicate and tell what's working and what's not working. And when you just take some words and innocuous words, sorry, they're innocuous words. When you take those words out, you force people to just use a different word to mean the same thing. What did you accomplish? So listen, 1984 was a warning. It's not a manual for how to dictate other people's lives. It's just stop it. This isn't a Godwin. You go ahead and call me when you Gestapos. This is a Niemöller. First they came for these guys. First they came for those guys. I didn't say anything. Now they're coming for me. I'm saying something. This sucks. This has no place in adulthood, especially not in the STEM field. This is, if you take words and concepts off the table in science, what are you gonna? How are you even gonna know if what you're doing is right? Like Matt Dillahunty always says, I want to believe as many true things and as few false things as I possibly can. And it's important to me whether or not my beliefs are true. This takes testing. This takes communication. This takes the ability to think about things. In 1984, the whole goal was to get rid of words, because then people couldn't rebel, right? Because then they wouldn't even have the words to say that they were unhappy or whatever. This is not good. Censorship doesn't help anybody. Hold on real quick. 1 second. What happened? What happened? I would change it on your phone if I were you. Sorry. Okay, all that ranting aside, we had a little technical emergency in the studio. All that ranting aside, censorship doesn't help anybody. Doesn't belong in computer programming or any field where people are actually doing real things. So let me get to the next thing. That was just a rant. It's very upsetting, man. I was really trying to get work done, and this was just this just annihilated me. So let's go on to the next subject, which is going to be a little bit about MIDI for guitar players. I got an email. Let's see. Says, I need help if possible. I have the FCB 1010 with the Eureka 3.3 chip, and I can't get it mapped to bias or amplitude. Any help would be appreciated. Okay, first of all, amplitude likely won't work because they've had a problem since 2015 that they really haven't addressed. As far as I know, last I checked, which I think was last year, you can get some MIDI stuff working with amplitude, others not so much, which sucks because they really did have some pretty extensive MIDI implementation. I just wouldn't trust it right now. Also, VST3, has a lot of trouble with MIDI. So if you're using a VST3 version of something, you may not, you may have some trouble with MIDI. I see that you say you're using the Eureka chip. I'm using the Uno chip, but let's not make it that complicated. First of all, are you even getting MIDI into the computer? That's the important part. If you're a Reaper user, it has a MIDI monitor built in. My company, AIX DSP, we have a MIDI monitor that we made, so it'll tell you what's going on. If you want to use a free one, if you're in Reaper anyway, if you're not, I'll show you ours as well. But if you're in Reaper, there's a pretty good one, MIDI. What is it? Recontrol MIDI, I think. Control MIDI. Okay. So what I've done is I've made a MIDI input. I've chosen my MIDI I/O device. That in this case I'm doing a wireless MIDI into a CME WIDI bud. I'm not sure if they're available anymore. I didn't see them on their website anymore. But that's going to be my input. I've got monitoring on, otherwise it's not going to pass through this effects here. And in Reaper's case, you use let's see, show log. And okay, let me see if I can do this. So this isn't going to be the best filming in the world, but I've actually put a camera under my desk, and that's not as bad as that sounds. Let's see. And that is okay. Let me adjust it. This is why I need the duct tape. Oh no. Let's see. Let's get. Let me see how much of this I can get in the frame. Sorry. Yeah, for you guys watching this is going to kind of suck because actually doing a little bit of video that's showing this stuff. So I am going to let's see. I am going to move. I'm just gonna click a controller and let's watch it. And so in this case, I have my pedal set up so that pedal 1 on the FCB. The FCB 1010 is that Behringer. It's like got 10 MIDI pedals and then an up and down bank and a 2 continuous controller pedals. So in this case, I have mine mapped so that the bottom, let's see, the bottom one, I'm going to press, you can see me pressing the pedal. So that's CC0, continuous controller 1, channel 1, value 0. And I have it so that when you let go of it, it sends value 1. Okay. So I'm going to hit the next pedal. I'm getting CC2, channel 1, value 0. Next one is CC3. Next one is CC4. Next one is CC5. And in this case, I use, in my normal setup, I use CC5 to do the tap tempo. So I'd step on it, 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. Let's see. So 6, I have a program change. 7, I have a program change. Channel 1, value 1. 8 is a program change. 9 is a CC change. I forget what I was using that for. I'm doing something. I think I'm turning on some crazy effect or something with it. I mean, this is just depending how you got this mapped. And 10 is to open my tuner. Let's see. I don't. Oh man, I messed up something I wanted to. Oh boy. Okay, so what I did not want to do is really mess around with bias while this is going. I have a feeling it's gonna blow up the stream. Bias has some issues still that make some trouble. But anyway, that's how we tell if you're getting MIDI. If you're getting MIDI in, you're pretty much there. I don't like the MIDI implementation necessarily in Bias. I do like it a lot better than it was in Bias Effects 1. If you read on my website, pipelineaudio.net, there's like an open letter to Bias developers or something, and you'll see that there's a kind of a roadmap laid out for Bias Effects 2, and I think they implemented a lot of what I was hoping for. But the MIDI, it's still not like how I would like it. But that doesn't mean it's really bad. There are some problems. One of the things, well, I'll show you this in a second. But let's just try and map this. Okay, I'm not gonna map program changes because I don't trust. I don't want to blow up the stream. I don't trust. Sorry, I don't trust Bias for. It's actually still my favorite sounding amp sim, but it can make some trouble while you're using it in real time, and things can really get sketchy on the stream. So And I'll see. I'll try and run it in ToneLib in a little while, but it's probably going to blow up. So just so you know. Let's see. So I'm just gonna flip this on. Oh boy. Oh boy. So I'm gonna take this out of mute, and I'm gonna hope that it's still gonna work. So let's see. Oh, that's some latency. Oh, I got some stuff in my master output. Ouch. Okay. Let me know if it starts roboting or whatever. But let's just shoot. That's gonna be a little bit freaky. I forgot about that. Okay. So let's just map some stuff. So if you're to do this the way Bias wants you to do this, I'm gonna right click it. I'm gonna click assignment, and I'm gonna put learn, and then watch. I'm just gonna go press it with my first pedal with my foot, and it says receive CC1. I'm gonna hit done, and there's a problem here. I'm gonna show you this in a second, but see that takes the well, it did. Well, that's interesting. See, well, again, this is the problem here. It did, thankfully. Oh, that's the that is the 5153 from Bias Head 2, I think. Okay, so I've got my MIDI. How am I going to turn this off? And this is one of the things I didn't like about Bias. So look at that. Now this thing's all completely broken. Oh, shoot. I have this set to scenes. Okay, sorry. Let me unmap this. Let me get out of the scenes editor. Okay. Assignment. Okay, so sorry. I forgot about this. I haven't used Bias in a while because I'm not trusting it so much. What I have this thing set to is scenes. So scene management, how do you do, let's see, if I go 1, 2, 3, 4. So those are my 4 different scenes. So if I'm going to go to scene 1. Let's just say I don't want the drive on scene 1. And scene 2, have the drive on. So drive off, drive on, drive off, drive on. Let me get this up so you can see it a little bit easier. So that's just sending a CC, and if we really want to know what's going on, I can leave this this logger on right here. So this is using MIDI to control the scenes in Bias, and I kind of forget how that works. So I'm going to go up to settings, MIDI setting, MIDI control assignments. Okay, so scene 1, 2, 3, and 4 are picked here. So I've set these to CC1, CC2, whatever. That's how you pull the scenes in Bias. Let me I wonder, can you just clear the entire MIDI thing? No, you can't, sadly. I could trash them all, and if I did that, it'd never work again. But that's okay. Let's try this. Okay, so I'm gonna toss them. Oh, I don't know if that's really how I want to do that. But that's okay. I'm going to do it anyway. Everyone's gangster, right? I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete that. No MIDI control, okay? So when I press stuff, nothing's going to happen. I'm going to get out of the scenes mode. Okay, so I'm going to make this a little bit more direct and simple here. Yeah, my guitar that I was just playing is it's one of these Agiles. So we had a show about this not too long ago. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this thing. The world music industry makes these, which is one of the companies who kind of makes guitars for everybody. It's a fanatical Korean guitar company, and they were sold by Rondo Music in the U.S. And it doesn't look like I think he was trying to sell the brand out, so we might not have Agiles anymore, which is a total bummer. I love them. I love them to death. You know, they're cheap, they're beautiful, and you can get neck through body. And so, yeah, I'm bummed. But you know, there's other stuff. I've been looking at Rondo Music. Okay, so I'm going to do this the way you normally would. So let's assign a toggle switch to this guy. I'm going to hit learn, and I'm going to press 1, and there we go. Okay, so done. So now watch the drive pedal. I'm just going to press the pedal on and off. Okay, simple enough, right? Now, here's the problem. Bias doesn't do a direct on or direct off. What it does is toggle. So if I had it in this state, watch, if I turn this here, and now if I press it, it's going to toggle it off. It should have stayed off, right? Unless you really want to do toggles. But this toggle is cool, but it can be a real issue because I'm going to show you the next thing that I begged every guitar company to add, or every plug-in company that makes guitar stuff to add, and very few did. So we made our own. So what I want to happen, okay, so let's assign the wah pedal here real quick. I'm going to go to assignment, wah. So it's on 27. Let's see if this even works, because this is chances of this sucker working is. All right, so cool. So the wah works. Now, what I really want to happen is like on an Axe FX or something when you click the or when you move. Oh, I still got my ESP. Oh, you know Kurt, that's awesome. He's a hero over here. Like, it's really hard for people in Hawaii to if everybody thinks we're rich in Hawaii. Most kids who are playing music in Hawaii don't have much money at all. And Kurt at Rondo has made sure that kids in Hawaii have instruments, electric ukuleles, electric guitars, whatever. Kurt is awesome. If you ever, man, I would love to have him on one day. I always email him. Anyways, so what I want to do is like the Axe FX, where when you move your pedal, it turns the wah on, and when you bring it all the way back, it turns it off. Okay, so how are we going to do that, right? What I really need to do is remap the MIDI pedal and take a little bit of its range away. Possibly. There's many ways to skin this cat. Let me show you what we did. So this is a plug-in from my company, AIX DSP, called Auto Engage. Simply enough. So this would work for your whammy pedals or whatever else. There's actually a way. Michael Schnell, M. Schnell, programmer who does a lot of the JS plugins inside Reaper. He made an auto engage in JS. So if you're running Reaper, you don't even need to buy our plugin. You can, because I think there's some improvements on it, and you would really help me out, right? But you don't have to. If you're using Reaper, like I always say, if you're using Reaper, you're pretty much set anyway. But most, for you guys that are using other stuff. So what this plugin does, let me put a MIDI monitor after this so you can really see. Recontrol MIDI. So I'm gonna put that MIDI logger, another instance of this MIDI logger, after the auto engage, and so I've told it to listen to CC27, which is my my wah pedal, and then I'm gonna give it a switch CC in a second. Right now it's a really bad idea because I think it's toggling my the overdrive pedal on and off. I'm going to put it on 28 for now, okay? Okay, so now let's watch MIDI logger. I'm going to move the pedal. Okay, so you can see CC27. This might be really hard to see. Sorry about that. So what's happened is it's telling you, as you'd expect, CC27's moving around because that's my wah. But it's also, when this green light goes on, it sends out a single switch, not a continuous control signal, just a single blip of CC28. And you can see that I have polarity invert, so that you may want the switch to go the other way. You can remap the MIDI range. We've got a hysteresis control so that the off threshold is different than the on threshold. You really do a lot of stuff here. So, like, for instance, I'm going to tell it that unless I move my pedal halfway up or something, it's not going to turn that switch. Watch. So look at all that pedal movement, and now it's turning the switch. Okay, so this is a button here. Okay, check this out, because this button's called trigger MIDI switch. Okay, sounds like the most useless button in the world, but because so much of this software is written so, I'm not going to say badly. It's meant to do kind of in the simplest possible way, so it's kind of hard to tell it what you want it to do half the time. You have to just hope. Let me see if I can get this door closed. 1 second. Sorry. Okay. What this trigger MIDI switch is going to do, it's just going to use whatever I told it here, switch CC. I'm going to hit the button, and you see it's just going to shoot out a full range of value 127 signal on CC28, and I'll show you why I want to do that in a second. So I'm gonna pop this out in its own window now. Sorry, I got all these windows going. Here's bias again, and what I want to do is I'm gonna assign the toggle on the wah. And this is a problem. This is really going to be, you're going to see the real horrible issue when you're dealing with. This is why I love bias's sound, but it's kind of hard for the live MIDI. But anyway, here we go. I'm gonna hit learn. I'm gonna click trigger MIDI switch. Bammo, that's 27 or 28 now, right? So 28 is going to turn that on. 27 is going to control the wah. Okay, so let's try that out. I'm gonna turn the wah off. Again, we're gonna get into this in a second. Now I'm gonna move the pedal. Now the wah's on. Okay. Now the wah's off when I pull the pedal back. So this is, Axe Effects can do this. One of the things a couple years ago when I wrote all those articles and started working with these companies about doing live guitar, especially wireless stuff. We made the one wire iOS setup where the only wire you really had to plug in was the power to the full range flat response speaker. Everything else was wireless, battery powered, and that's the way it should be. This is the 21st century, and it didn't look like the control software was all that good, and this was one of them that was kind of just a bummer, right? But there actually was the name Tone something, not ToneLib, but there was a Tone Stack. Tone Stack had to auto engage on the iPhone. But let me show you a couple things here. So when you're doing this, and this is very similar to what's going to happen with the free one in Reaper. So I'm going to turn this threshold down, and I'm going to remap the range here, because look at this problem here. I'll exaggerate. I'm going to make the threshold really high. So now, look, almost all the wah's range is used up before it even turns on the wah, right? So check this out. So if I click this control, remap range to hysteresis. We're going to stretch. Oh, sorry. Let me get it down to where the hysteresis is. So this is going to be a slightly different on threshold than off threshold. But now we're going to use that whole range of the wah. So it's just little tricks. We're going to be changing. There's going to be a couple little changes to this too. I want to have some meters that tell you actually what's coming in, what's going out, so that you can see it in real time. There's also a dwell time. So one of the things that was killing me is that if you rock the wah back and forth real fast, look at that bouncing up and down, right? Especially this like disco, baka waka, right? You're gonna have some real problems there. So what I did is I put this dwell time on there, so it's going to take some time before it can turn back off. So in this case, it's almost half a second, so you can just sit there and rock the thing. But let me show you one of these problems here, and this is why I'm imploring you guys who build these plugins for guitar and stuff. Not that we won't, maybe, but we'll talk about that later. When you guys do this, it's really cool to have a toggle, but it would also be nice to have a direct on and off state. So I could say that no matter what, 127, CC 120, CC whatever, value 127 is going to turn the thing on regardless. Because right now, let's say that you were using your wah. Yay, look, I'm a wah. And then you switch to another program, okay? You switch to that other program. You switch back. Your wah's on. And now, when you go to turn it on, it's going to turn off. So it's now when the switch is going on, now the wah's off. So that's a problem, right? Toggle is cool. You should be able to choose between toggle and actual on and off states. That would be nice. It'd be real nice, actually. But anyway, that's how. That's how I map to bias. I mean, it's right there. The learn will work. If you're not seeing your MIDI, I have a idea that the problem is that you're not getting your MIDI somehow. So right here at the beginning, get arm your DAW, get your MIDI input going, and move some controls. And you better see it on this Recontrol. Even if you're not a Reaper user, just go download Reaper and put it on there. Unless you're doing iOS or something, then man, we got some talking to do. We actually, because we made MIDI monitor and Juice, I'll show you our MIDI monitor actually. So you watch this crash the computer or something. Real simple, same kind of thing. You just don't have to do anything with it is all. Because we're doing these plugins in Juice, we should actually be able to port this over to iOS for audio units, whatever you call the audio units version on iOS. There might be something on there already, though. I'd actually be surprised if there wasn't, but we should have ours on there before too long. What was the other thing? There's a couple other things. Okay, so if you're running Reaper, there's something called SWS Live, and I'm not sure if this is going to break everything in the universe if I open it. So SWS Live configs, you can actually drop actions in here, and there are so many that you could add. What I had is to send MIDI CCs to different plugins and turn them on and off. You can have an activate action and you have a deactivate action. So in this case, even with that stupid toggle thing, you might be able to come up with a way to make sure that wah turns off when you leave that particular program. And so really, you tell it what value you want, or you map from whatever value. You can actually write in what the thing is, which is really handy. So you can say, like, this is my clean amp, this is my distortion amp, these are little notes. And you have the activate action, you have the deactivate action. I had a little bit of problem that there's a slight gap, but it's not bad. You might find that SWS Live configs does everything you could possibly want. There's another thing, script in Reaper called LBX Stripper, and this thing is super powerful. I'm not sure that I have... I'm not sure that I have all my, see, I don't even have it installed anymore. LBX Stripper is kind of like a Bradshaw board. You just build every component. You can put graphics in it. You can, let me see if I can find, real quick, sorry. Let me, hold on, let's see. 1 second.
Just wanted to say thank you very much.
No problem.
Super much appreciate it. And everything, bro. We'll be back to fix that for you.
Oh, cool.
Scotty, get whatever he needs and just do it. I try to. He won't even buy you guys lunch today, so. But thank you. Really appreciate it, bro.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. So I don't know if this will play, but there's a video that where I show LBX Stripper running in Reaper. It's pretty powerful. Let's see. Can I do a capture? So here we are back again on the subject we talk about every week is the problem of capturing the Windows output. Let me turn off this pedal board. So I'm just going to let's see, output 5 and 6 capture. This might actually work. Let's cross your fingers. Okay. So anyway, that's an example of LBX stripper. It's completely configurable. You just build whatever you want. You can make it look any way you want, which is really cool. And it really is like a Bradshaw board. And you notice that there's pretty much gapless there, right? Yeah, let me pull up some of these pictures, man. Like look at what people do with this thing. You just make it look however you want. It's really, really cool. There's another way you can do things. It's called Gig Performer. What is this right here? Oh yeah, see, I think this is one I did. I think I put I put the tempo mapper. Oh yeah, that's definitely mine. Look at those colors. And see, I was making little racks and stuff. You can do so much cool stuff. There's another one called Gig Performer, and it's made by a couple coders that are pretty hardcore, man. So it does something very similar to this, but it acts as a standalone. It works really good for live stuff. You might want to check that out. But hopefully you see how to check for MIDI input in your DAW. If you're really plugging your pedal board in and you're not getting MIDI, there's another problem to look for. So we want to try and figure out what that is. So anyway, I know I told you guys this would be a short one. So I'm gonna get out of here, and I'll see you next week. And if you have any MIDI trouble, just email me if this didn't work for you.